Hey guys, welcome to another stream. So today we are going to be doing some Lairs expansion, and this is going to be basically me having a play with a level 2 character. We're going to pick a lair, maybe we'll do the Infernal Caves or the Sunken Swamp, and then we're going to play through, draw out the map and have a look at some of the new stuff that is in it. Because tomorrow I will be releasing it digitally. And it'd be quite nice just to double check with a playtest this evening to see whether we have any issues. I don't think there are. Hope not anyway. Okay. Any issues? I don't think there are. Hope not anyway. Right. Okay. Any issues? I don't think there are. Okay, good sound check. Hey Joel. Hey Toby, just passing for a quick hello. Hello my friend, how are you doing? Bit of an echo. Patrick, good to see you. Yeah, more content. I'm just checking I've got the thing set up okay here. Oh. There we go. Good, sounds great. Yes, that echo was just me playing back the sound so I could hear the quality of it. So, fabulous. Right, we'll do a little update in a minute once we get a few more people in. So, today I'm going to be using the new layers. I printed out the tables now and the rules at the front. So, the book itself doesn't appear that big, but there's more in it. There's monster cards and stuff added at the back. When we print it, it'll be more the rule size, that sort of size, and probably maybe slightly smaller, but basically that sort of size. And then there'll be a set like that. Although you can't really see that with the light there. See, people get the books excited for my leather book when they come around. Yes. Hey Johnny, how you doing? Jeff, how are things? Good to see you. Jeff, your testing has been. And yeah, so there'll be like this nice little set of stuff along with the cards naturally and the bookmark and the foe. It is coming along very nicely. There's slightly more involved than I anticipated when it comes to the foe. They want to send me a physical print of the text, and hopefully that'll include the leather bind on the outside. So that's going to come hopefully tomorrow. And then what we'll do is I'll be able to show that next time. It's still going to take 3 weeks. So they're just very methodical about what they do. They're not like my other printers, just sort of bang it out like that. Boom, boom, boom. Because the leather is obviously, the faux leather takes a bit more preparation. Thank you. It's been a pleasure I very much appreciate it, Jeff. Johnny, I'm disappointed in myself for not going around to printing layers and testing. So many distractions recently. Don't worry about it. See, what I find generally is there's a bit of obviously this big splurge, a lot of interest. People play it to death, and then the very natural order of life is you then move on to another game. Some people can sustain a lot of games at the same time, but most people just are playing one game at a time. And I don't expect people to necessarily just constantly play I don't constantly play 2d6 all the time. And those that have come back and done some testing for me, Brian as well, thank you for doing that. And Clive, awesome guys. But you know, we're nearly done. We're nearly done with it. We can have a pause. We'll have all the books done, and then there will be a pause of a couple of months when I do the Minotaur Labyrinth, the D&D supplement, and then after that we'll get back into it, and then hopefully everybody will feel a bit more refreshed and they'll be excited about the Overland 2d6 Kingdom expansion, which will be coming. Here I am still trying to complete my first run. Haha, expansions sound fun. Whoop. That is Bravelis, 1995. Welcome. Bob! Bob! You're back! You're back, Bob! Good to see you, my friend. It felt like you dropped off the edge of a mountain. Good to see you. I'm alive. We did miss you, Bob. Oh, back from conference season. Wow. So basically you're out and about travelling, Bob. Is that the way it is? It must take up a lot of your time. Well, Bob, you can see we've got the books here, and we've got the hardback as well, which is there. It's a lovely thick book, and the tables have come out a treat, to tell you. They are so crisp and easy to read. Yeah, it is so sharp. Well, we're just getting the throws done at the moment. They're going to take another 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately. I think with something like that, it does tend to take a bit longer, but they are going to be absolutely bliss and collectible. We'll be doing a faux leather edition for the expansion 2d6 Kingdom later in the year. So there will be a faux leather set that you can get. And then, of course, there's the bookmark that we developed and worked on. And the cards, Bob, the cards. These have been printed. These beautiful cards. Really pleased with how these have turned out. Nice backs. Excellent. I will probably need those later. Alright, so, plan. Patrick, where is Gen Con these days? Went years ago when it was in Wisconsin. Good question. Peter, good to see you. I'm a bit late. What did I miss? Nothing really. I was just chatting. Basically, tried to wait before get a few people in before we kind of kick off properly. Johnny, delicious game flavoured cards. Yes. Isn't it always in Wisconsin? Johnny asks. Good question. I'd love to get across for Gen Con. That'd be so cool. We could do a meet-up or something like that. I know America's a big place. So, I mean, to say that is like, I know it's like travelling across countries. But if there's anybody around that area, wherever it is, be cool. Right, so what we'll do is, you can see here I've got a grid, and I am going to do one of the layers. So before the stream, let's get this across here. Here we go. I created a character. Hopefully that looks all right. There. Vel Cotes. Ribby, good to see you. Madison, Wisconsin represented. Nice one. Oh, I've got this camera's now in my face, you see. Alright, let's try not. It's a little bit, just a little bit tricky to get this exactly right, people. So I may be off to the side a little bit. Anyway, we have got Vel Cotes and level 2 with health points 20, XP 100, shift +2, discipline +1, precision +1, Uses a longsword, has no runes applied to that weapon. Maneuvers are thrust, 3/2 d6 damage, heavy slash, 6/4 d6 plus 2 damage, padded tunic with a 5, and a banded shield with a 6/5. Now, when I was generating this character, I just kind of imagined they got some gold, bought a banded shield, has the mental whip scroll, which they never used, a potion of healing and a potion of strength, with some favour points at the bottom here. So, this is the same setup of the character I recently set up. Awesome. All my character sheet is out of date. No applied runes. Yes, that is available. Applied runes. Did we change anything else? We may have. Did you have the numbers on the tracker down here? Probably. It's it's a small space for the applied runes, so that needs to be expanded maybe. But we just have to make do with what we've got for the minute. I think it's fine. I know that Kevin has done slightly a change to some of this about management of objects and stuff like that, because we've got the loot lockup down here as well. That's quite new. So the loot lockup down the bottom here, you can store stuff back at the house. Oh, incidentally, he's got a rope and a metal plate as well. Large items in his backpack. Just stuff he's picked up potentially. So this is what a character might look like after going through either level 1 or 2 in the main dungeon, right? That is right. Yes. Yeah. We'll go over some of the rules in the Lairs. Close to midnight here by me. Going to bed. Just wanted to say hello. Good day to all. Yeah. Bray. Good night, my friend. Thanks for popping in. I know it's difficult to get the times exactly, but yeah, no, thanks for stopping by, my friend. I'd like a separate section for herbs, so I use the rations area for that. Yeah, exactly. I think that, look, I mean, I did think about doing that. I did think about having herbs, but as you say, you can just simply add in a section here that is for your herbs and organise it how you kind of feel. Michael, good morning from Australia. Good to see you. G'day. And incidentally, sorry, I hope that didn't drive you away from the channel. I'll be watching England versus Australia in the Women's World Cup tomorrow. That's going to be good. Come on, you lionesses. Right, I used to live in Australia. Did I tell you that, Michael? Right, okay. So, what we've got here, let's try and see if I've got this right. I've got this. Let's just, hopefully that'll be about right there, I think. Yeah, looks pretty good. We can probably turn the little light on for this one. A bit more. There we go. Okay, for medical supplies and throwing weapons, I use the additional notes section. Otherwise, they get buried in the small items section. Yeah. That is a good point. I mean, yeah, restructuring. I think that we can have quite a lot of player content, can't we? And I think there's going to be a range of different forms that different character sheets that people make that will be then put up on the forums, like on BGG and all that type of thing. Except for throwing axe, because that is a large item. That is a very good point. I forget about that myself, actually. All right. So we have got. So the Lairs expansion is going to be releasing this digitally tomorrow, and that is assuming everything goes okay this evening. Why do we have a Lairs expansion? That is a good question. So basically, I wanted short adventures that would boost your gold and your experience, but not too far. This is what we're playing with at the moment, getting that balance of having too much experience kind of gathered. And you would go on these quests to boost your treasure, so that would then be, we're thinking about the future as in 2D6 Kingdom when you've got your own little kingdom. But it also allows you to buy better armor, for example. If you're going deeper into the dungeon and you're aware, I don't have enough armor, maybe I'll go and get some loot from the sunken swamp and then buy myself some armor, and then I'm more equipped to go down into the deeper levels of the dungeon. Because really, you don't want to be going into the dungeon unless you have good armor. It's quite important, and enough gold to buy some potions, some powerful potions. So there are some key things here. In the dungeon, there are specific creatures. I think we're going to go into the sunken swamp today. So if we look at the Talus Lotus, that's probably the most powerful. Blaine, will the Lairs expansion require minimum character level? No. I was just kind of, and that really was one of the major things about this. That's what took a bit. That's one of the reasons why it took longer, because I had to come up with a system whereby you could be 1 to 10 and go into the one of the Lairs and you could play. So each creature has 4 versions of it. It's funny that I picked the one there that has the wrong colour on. So if we go to here we go. So we've got a level 2, 4, 7 and 9, basically. The Lairs can be taken on by any level adventurer, levels 1 to 10. There are special conditions that have to be applied depending on your level. For example, when you encounter traps, you will take damage per level of adventurer. There are also 4 versions of each creature. You fight the creature that is closest to your level at the start of the combat. If it is a tie and you have 50% or less of your HP, you face the lower level enemy. There are a few minor exceptions, creatures which do not have variations. Just fight these as per normal creature card, as per their normal creature card from the table's codex. Okay, so you can see there that we have, so level 2, there's level 2 creatures that will be fighting. Now if I go up to level 3, I'm in between 2 and 4, and it means that when I encounter a creature, depending on the level of one of these creatures, say for example, depending on my health points, I will then have to just say if I'm less than half, I'll fight the weaker creature. If I'm more than half, I'll fight the more powerful creature. And that's how the leveling works. It's like an Elder Scrolls game where the enemies level up with you. Exactly. There's a kind of a knock-on effect. That rule where you fight that had unexpected consequences. In a sense, they were positive consequences, but as you play, and this is a classic example of how when you implement a rule, it has knock-on effects, and you didn't think it would do, but you could end up going and fighting level 2 creatures and end up coming out fighting level 4 creatures. Now, one of the other things that we faced with the Lairs is, do we have how big should the lair be? Now, in my mind, I wanted these layers to be big. You go through them, explore. Now, I set it up like that. And as it turns out, you can get a lot of experience from doing these layers. Now, I kind of thought to myself, I've got to put all the creatures that appear there within the context of all the other creatures in the creature deck. So they're all compared to, say, all level 4 creatures is compared to the Talus Lotus. All those creatures are of a similar ability. So level 4 should be level 4. So as it turns out, if you do a big level like using these creatures, you can get a lot of XP. And it kind of makes you a bit OP when you go back into the dungeon. So I've reduced the size of the layers to 25 by 25. I may make it the layers have to be 25 by 25. I put at least 25. This is kind of up to the last moment. So that means that you won't necessarily get too much experience points. Now, there are some other things to consider with the layers. Dead ends. If you find that if you face a series of dead ends, cannot progress, and there's less than 8% of the layer explored, then add an extra exit. So you need to explore, if you want to complete the layer, at least 80% of the whole level. So we're talking about having to fill these maps. Completing a layer. You may retreat from a layer at any point following the same path you came in by, which is different than the main dungeon. Because the dungeon is a kind of living thing and people are around and can spot you. With the layers, it's not quite like that. You can escape. But this secret exit, but you cannot re-enter and carry on where you left off. You would instead restart a new layer. So you're, in a sense, you're done and dusted with that. It's repopulated, and you kind of almost forgotten the layout, if you like, so that you go back to a similar layer and it's different. What the Infernal Caves has like a boss, Harrocore, which is like a flaming bear. Once done, an exit will appear. The Sunken Swamp, you need to explore every room and clear out all the monsters that lived there, so they will no longer threaten the town. Once this is done, the following presents an exit you can take, or you can go back the way you came. Back in town where, in fact, you have to leave through the exit to actually complete it. Back in town, there is praise for what you have achieved. And you've achieved, and word soon spreads. You are toasted in the pub and awarded a small purse of 100 gold coins by the mayor. Going through, Jeff says, going through his level 3 character, I strategized when I healed up. At times would rather face a level 2 creature with half my health than face a level 4 creature with just over half. Exactly. Right, so just going to change that there. Treasure. Loot quantities and quality varies depending on the level of the creature you're fighting. It's a little bit less than I thought it would be. So there is a good amount of gold, but it's quite difficult to work more gold in justifiably for each level. So that may tweak. You may tweak that. Damage. The PL abbreviation is also used in relation to damage taken on occasion. This reflects that the encounter is no doubt tougher for the higher level dungeons, which are more financially rewarding. So there is a PL. PL refers to per level of adventurer and is placed after the coin amount, such as example 10 gold coins PL per level. Here, if you are level 2, you would find 20 gold coins. If you're level 9, you would find 90. So rather than say I've had to kind of create this balance that you get within the layer. So that has kind of accounted for it. So you get it per level. The threat is higher, the reward is higher. Gods. Gods have little physical presence in Lairs, for the creatures that lurk there are now worshippers, are not worshippers, but they can be tapped into if the right situation presents itself, and occasions might occur when they could aid you on your journey. So there is a slight change with the gods. You can spend favour points given certain situations. It's a different sort of religious kind of setup. There's no worshippers. There's no kind of church in these lairs. They are primal and raw, and you can access the gods through that aspect, and we'll hopefully have some of that. Cave and swamp walls. Right, so there is like a zone, or a 1 square zone around your design, which we seldom fill when you're doing dungeons. But with these, the walls are rough and kind of rugged, and you'll see as I do that what it appears like. I'll go over that. Doors and locks. There are no doors in the Sunken Swamp, so all exits are archways. Some chests, though, might be locked, and so there's still use for lockpicks. We won't read the Infernal Caves because we're going to do the Sunken Swamp. Javier, how you doing? Good to see you. We've sent that because Javier did the layout for the cards. So we've got 8 on a sheet, so they're easy to print. Very handy. Thank you, my friend. To the west, the Sunken Swamp, to the west of the village is a wetlands. Fed by a series of narrow tributaries, the area is now flooded. Old fishing hamlets lost, and sections have formed swamps and marshes. Treacherous to navigate, few but the oyster farmers and fisher people dare to enter. Recently, undead beings and mutated creatures have been emerging from the swamps, and rumour has it that some kind of subterranean lair is the source of an undead corruption. It is a threat to the village and must be dealt with. Okay. That is the basis. Within the Sunken Swamp, the rooms are of varying heights and levels. Some rooms are open to the elements, the walls too high and wet to climb out of, while others turn downwards and appear as caves, kind of covered rooms. The main structure was formed when an underground cavern collapsed onto a conduit of primordial magic. It prevented areas from filling with water, forming walls and open chambers, revealing lost treasures. The presence of the magic imbued some of the creatures that lived there with an undead curse, mutating some of the and empowering others, calling forth wraiths to possess long lost souls in the form of I might change that word actually. I might just question mark there. Now, there's obviously some things to manage with this. Hey Brian. Hey all, so glad I decided to pop on YouTube real quick. Good to see you, Brian. Welcome. So, there are a couple of specific rules that we need to be aware of. With this level, the Sunken Swamp, we are going to encounter some damp, wet chambers. Because you were more than aware of the wet nature of the marshes, you have waterproofed your backpack with oil and fat, but in the room you encounter but if the room you encounter is flooded, you naturally acquire the soak status. You have packed kindling and wood trapped in oilcloth and can use this to create fire. So these are large items. 2 fires. You can only light them in the room described status as a dry space. You need to carefully monitor your soak status. Don't forget, if you backtracked to a dry space, you need to count the rooms you backtracked through. Okay, so we have, I'm going to put down here, we have packed kindling. I'm going to put that down as large items here. Packed. And they can be used to start a fire and dry myself off. Just something you'll be prepared. Brian! Good to see you. No problem. Thanks for doing the test, by the way. That's gone into the equation. Flooded rooms. Some rooms in the Sunken Swamp are flooded, and moving through them can be challenging. If you encounter 2 flooded chambers in a row, you must roll on the SOT1, the soaked table. This represents that potentially one or more of your items has been damaged. If the room is flooded, it will be noted in the description. Small rooms do not count, but large do. Okay. Right, so we've got to be. I've got to try and keep track of the flooded status. I'm going to try my best. I think with these things, sometimes you miss it, sometimes you don't. And that isn't on purpose. That's just because I'll be either talking to you guys or I will be absorbed by something else. So, there are 2 new runes with this. 2 new runes. Rune stones. They draw upon the power of the ancient reptile gods seen on numerous items and surfaces in the lair. So there is a mysterious ancient reptile god, scaled god sometimes called. Bolter's Surge rune, applied to melee weapons once per combat. After you have hit an opponent you can fight, fire a surge of water from the tip of your weapon, striking that opponent down, causing 10 damage and knocking them to the floor. You can follow up with an extra hit before the next round. Quite handy. Womboko's Scale rune. Apply to melee weapons once per combat. As long as you are holding your weapon, you can turn your skin to scales for an instant so as to deflect the strike. You take no damage from this round. There we go. Okay, so all the tables are mixed in together for the Lairs. And we are going to be using Sunken Swamp. Okay. Got the character, just a quick recap. Velcotes, Thrust, Heavy Slash, Padded Tunic, Banded Shield, Mental Whip, Scroll, Potion of Healing, Potion of Strength, 20 health. That's about it. Level 2 character. Let me just pull aside the creatures that I'll be fighting for the minute. So we've got the level 2 Water Cadaver. Level 7s, level 2. The Veen Frey and the Bladderwort Host. Okay, they're the 4 creatures at level 2 that I could potentially encounter. It might go up to the level 4, we'll see. Keep those separate over there. I have got my cards. I've got all that, not as much space as usual for some reason, I don't know why. Got my quick reference thing if I need that. And right, let me get this lined up here. Hang on a sec here. Ooh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Everything's falling over. Okay, there we are. Good start. Let's get that like that. So I'm going to do 25 by 25, and let's get this across here. So I'm going to hold it like that. I'm going to give it that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. And we'll bring it along. Like so. Not the straightest line I've ever drawn. And this is going to be my sunken swamp. Can we see that? Yeah. Go back a little bit. Yes. There is this one. Merch. And I think there's one other one. If you look up 2d6 on Redbubble, you will see the t-shirts there. I feel like once all the books are out and we've got the all the books on our shop online, we will have a bit more of a focus on some merch. But I feel like that's coming. I don't really feel like I'm in a position to... Thanks, Frank. How you doing, Frank? Good to see you. And once... Because I feel like I want everybody to have the game first and their products before we start offering things which you have to kind of buy. The camera's in the shop, which is a shame. Move that over here a bit. Oh my word. Okay. Right. Hopefully. Let's have a look. Yeah, that should be okay. Good. Okay. Pro streamer. All right. Now, I'm going to put a little entrance there, and then we've got the die. And let me just have a look here. Yeah, that kind of fits in up there nicely. Yeah, that'll be up there. That when we need that for the combat. So let's have a explore. So, right. First off, okay, we're going to have... The way that these rooms are drawn is slightly different. I'm gonna just start off with a... so that the walls are uneven. Like so. That is a 2x3. Okay. I know. Placing the camera, it's like that. Is that in the picture still? Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, trying to get it all working right. That's the problem, you see. I'm a bit cramped. This sort of setup is quite difficult to do when you're trying to draw, film. You've got your mic. Ah, Nick, thank you. So these rooms are going to look slightly peculiar because they're not going to be square like the rooms we know. They're going to have a bit of a kind of squiffiness to them. If you can see the camera in shot, is that a fifth wall? Probably. Just ignore it. Okay, so first room, there's nothing in the first room as per usual. So I'm going to... You might need to see a doctor if those lines are supposed to be straight. Yeah, these ones aren't lead magnet because we're in the lair. We're in the lair. What we've got is there's some rad zone stuff on there as well, by the way. You've got these walls aren't even, so it's kind of, we're in the sunken swamp. So let's just put up here. It's not a dungeon. It's a kind of uneven natural space. Okay, so we're going to roll, and we're going to go this way, left. So we've got a 3 by 5. So we've got 3 by 5, 5 up. There's like a buffer zone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to bring it in here. How many exits does that have? So let's have a look. We've got our useful. Exits here. Now we're only going to have archways, so we're not going to be filling these doors in. This is the very nature of the Lairs. There are no doors because they're natural spaces. And we roll for a number of exits. 2. So we've got 1 exit, and the room is 3 across. I'm going to have the exit there, and then this kind of space like this. And then we're going to roll to see what's in it. Now that's a normal room, which is here. Let's have a look. We have the Sunken Swamp rooms. So what have we got? A D66. 25 stretched netting. Okay. Nets are stretched across this space, making it harder to navigate as they are full of sharp stones. Okay, so we're going to write along here. I'm going to write in this stretched netting. Turn it around a little bit. Okay, can't really read that. And I'm going to add a bit of drawing to this. This is some netting here, kind of, because the whole theme of the of this Sunken Swamp is because it's kind of, they're rooms below water level which are magically maintained. They've drawn in all the old kind of nets and detritus that's fallen into the swamp over the years, where fishermen used to fish. There were like little shanty towns and little ports and areas where people were fishing. So you've got these nets, a bit like this. Looks a bit like Spider-Man's been here, and so add a bit of theme in here. Okay. Stretch netting. Roll a d6 and add your discipline. On 7 or lower, you are caught by some stones. Lose 1 HP per level. Let's do it. 4 plus 1 is 5, and let's just recap on that. On a 7 or lower, you are caught by some stones. Quite a difficult one to avoid at the lower levels. And there is an element of that with these. The lower levels is certainly, there's a certain vulnerability that you will find. Unfortunately, they're risky places to go. So I do lose 1 HP per level. So that means I lose 2 HP as I navigate through this space. Okay, so take that off there. 18. So first space, and I can see already the environment is difficult, and let me just see what it says here. Doesn't say it's flooded. Okay, so we don't acquire the soaked status. Right, let's carry on with this room here. We're going to go into this space here, the room next door. Let's roll to see. And we don't have to roll for doors or anything like that. All the doors are archways. So it's a 4 by 3, the next one. So I'm going to take it down to the outside here. And we bear in mind, so the thing about these walls is you probably will need to keep a rubber next next to. So it's 4 by 3. So actually it'll go straight across. We've got this buffer zone. How many exits have we got as we draw it? 1 exit again. So it's leading us purposely forward. I'm going to leave this wall over here and bring it up here. Hopefully you can see that okay. There. Okay, normal room. Let's roll to see what room we get. I'll do that again because it was a corner. So 1, 2, 12. Exposed earth. Okay. Exposed. Exposed earth. A section of the wet wall here has crumbled away to reveal warm, moist earth that forms a face. Whose face is this going to be? Well, clearly it's Gracada. You feel Gracada's presence. If you have a relevant FP, you can cross it off and roll on MBT1. So that is the minor blessing table. And we're going to do that. For combat and room creation, I have gotten used to always rolling 3 dice together. Room creation gives the dimensions and exits at the same time. Combat gives me attack and potential damage at the same time. That's not a bad idea. I mean, that is definitely that comes from someone who's experienced with the game. And that's a nice little thing actually, because you've kind of adapted what you do to make it quicker. Whereas with these demonstrations, I'm just kind of showing each stage, if you like. But yeah, I like your thinking, Nick. Really like that you have the minor blessings in there. Can get a little boost that only costs 1 FP. So this isn't in the main dungeon, but because this space is kind of got this magical primal quality, you can reconstitute the powers of the gods. I've got, as it happens, I do have a Gracada point here. So I'm going to rub that off, and then I'm going to roll on the blessings table. We'll make a little narrative note of this as well in a minute. So that is the MBT1. So that's back up here, minor blessings. Here we go. It's 2d6. Add it together. 4. You feel something in your hand and look down to see a pouch has appeared there. Inside are 30 gold coins. Yes, that's what we're in here for, loot. So, she's blessed me with wealth. Thank you, Gracada. And there are other things on there. You can be healed. Life seeds. You can become invigorated. Yeah, that is a nice boost at a low level, isn't it? So, I mean, it does take a combination of things. You've got to take the points in. You've got to roll the room, which there aren't many of them on the table. So that's a lucky start. So we're going to draw in here a kind of like a face in the rock, in the wall here. So kind of like a face here. Face. Oh, her ugly face there. That's not a very good face. In the mud. There she is, Gracada. Nice. So I'm going to write a little narrative moment here. Pushed into the swamp and fought my way past sharp netting to find Gracada is with me. I saw her face and she blessed me with gold. Nice. That's a little narrative moment. Okay, so this has got one exit, so we're going to follow this exit here up into no combat as yet. And we have 4 by 6. Right, that's quite a nice big space. Again, I've got to remember to keep those a bit shorter. Okay, so we've got 4. We'll bring it over this way a bit. Why not? We'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll put 1 in there actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And it's not going to be a lot of space, and it's by 6. So we go down here. I'm trying to take this out. 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to here, and we need to see how many exits there are. Oh, so there are 3, but I can only fit 2 in because this wall's too close to the boundary. This wall's already got one on, so we're going to have an exit here, and then one at the top as well. Stuff here. Okay. And we need to find out what this room is. Let's do this. So it's not a large room, that one. 35. What have we got? 35. Waterfall. Okay. Water pours over one of the walls here into a crack in the ground, preventing a flood. Water sprays, fills the air. There is a lot of splashback though, and you are drenched. Alright. Tick 2 boxes on the soaked track after roll on SSIT1. Okay. So we have got this crack here. It fits in nicely with the lay of the land. So the waterfall's coming from this area over here. So water's coming in here. It's kind of splashing down into this space here. This chasm. And there's kind of water sort of splashing up everywhere. What was it called? Waterfall. Just write that in down there. It's kind of splashing in here, splashing everywhere. And I am soaked. In fact, I get 2 boxes there on the soaked status. I roll far more dead ends rooms than rooms that have 3 exits. That is a weird thing because there's equal chance for both. So maybe it's just how the die turned out, isn't it? Per standard room creation from Coral, you cannot put 2 exits on the same wall. Exactly. The only time you've ended up with 2 exits on the same wall is when you match up previously drawn areas and they naturally link up together. Exactly. Exactly right. It's only when the dungeon creates it itself, if you like. Okay. So we've got waterfall. We're soaked. And we have to roll on the other table. Jonathan, Lars, Jeff, roll better. I even changed out the dice. Here we go. We've got the... I'm just going through them. Really. Here we go. Sunken Swamp Incidents table. Got to roll on this one. Let's see what happens here. First time we rolled on this for this particular one. So 14. The air in this room is warmer, creating a microclimate that has yielded a series of darker leaf tropical plants. They go around the edges. You kneel down and see some Malico leaves, enough for 3 doses, which you can pick. So that's pretty damn cool. So obviously the water that's coming in is warmer. So we've got like almost like a little, and the mist has created like a tropical environment within this one room, like a microcosm of ecosystem. What do they call them? One of those things. And I'm going to draw some plants in here. And I find some Malico leaves. How cool is that? That really nicely matches this waterfall. Microcosm. That's the one. Something like that. Anyway. Okay, so we were lucky. We picked up some Malico leaves. Put those on the little 3 doses. Oh. In fact, I'm going to use Malico leaves. It is one, isn't it, on the Malico leaves? Just double check. I think it is just one. Yes, chewed heals 1. So I'm going to do chewed 2 and heal myself back up to 20. Here. And I'll have Malico leaves on my sheet here times 1. And there we go. Microbiomes. Blaine. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. So it's kind of like a little micro area. Right, so nice. The luck of the gods is with me today. Brilliant. Right, so we've got 2 exits. I'm quite keen to see where this other one's going here. This other space into this kind of to the right. So we're going to go in there. Grey. Man, I'm so keen to get my hands on this game. Well, what did you order, Grey? Because the foe is still they're faffing around a bit with that, and they're sending me like a print copy. But I reckon that's probably like 3 weeks. But we should get the Lairs printed a bit sooner. Fingers crossed. These Lairs I'm just showing you now. So it's a corridor. Okay, so that is 1 across and 5 up. It turns sharply and heads up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's interesting. We've got. I'll do the room up here. We've got another corridor, 1 by 6. Look at this. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. Strike that. I didn't do exits. 3. So that's that is, and you can check on here. 3 is 1 exit. So it goes up, and it was 1 by 6. So we'll carry on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got this long passage here. Goes right up the middle. That is weird. And then I was one of the late pledgers for the hardback and Lairs. Okay. Jeff Porter. Hey, Toby. Been enjoying the PDF so far, but so excited to get my physical books. I think I late backed just in time for the last postage send-off, so should be here soon, I hope. What did you order, Jeff? What was the order? If it included the Lairs physical, then it won't be quite yet. But as soon as we can, and then the foes will be the last wave of items, which, as you can probably understand why that is, they take longer to do. Right, so we're up at the top here. How many exits does this space have? Right, so it has 3. So we need to incorporate in here a couple of exits. Nice. Okay. Right, there and there. Right, so this could connect up nicely here. We'll see. We'll go this way. Just paperbacks. Well, Jeff, you should have them. Didn't really realise that Lairs and cards were an option. I'll for sure pick those up off your website later on. Cool, Jeff. That's good of you. Right, so we've got an exit down here and an exit here, and we'll go through here and see exactly what happens. Double 6. Now, Brian, do you get more soaked as you go? You're right. Thank you, Brian. So it doesn't affect. It's only rooms where you get soaked. So once we go through into another room, we will get another soaked status. So you're right to point that out. 6x6. Now with 6x6s, you do not roll a double on there. You do not roll again. So, but we will get a 6x6 in here. It's going to squeeze in, and we're going to get. We're going to go right up to the wall here, and back a bit on ourselves here, and into there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it is a large room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5x6, so that's 30. So that won't strictly be a large room because it's only 5. 1, 2, 3. We could take it up to there, and it's kind of it's right on the edge. Now if that corridor was like that, it would go up to this. So we are going to call it a 6x6. This little space here makes it a no, it wouldn't be, because you've got the exit there, you've got the exit room there, and then that would be the line. It's the kind of curved walls are slightly confusing, and this, I mean, I've done this a couple of times, but not recently, so it's just kind of judging it. So it's not actually a large room, so not a large anymore exactly. As 2-6 Dungeon goes forward in the future, Toby, will there be any more lair expansions? I'm thinking Wizard, Tower, Castle, Mountains, Forest. What are you thinking? Brian, that is a great question. Sorry, Blaine, that is a great question. So the next one we do is the is 2d6 Kingdom. That will come later in the year. We're going to have a couple of months break, 2 or 3 months break from it, from campaigning, if you like, for 2d6. And then later in the year, we're going to have 2d6 Kingdom. And in that, we are going to have a 2 more Lairs. So there will be the game, the 2d6, where you have your own kingdom, 2d6 Kingdom. And you generate a kingdom like we do with the dungeons, and you face quests and issues, and you buy land and expand your kingdom and connect it up, and people join you, and you start to build a settlement. And then along with that, there's going to be the second Lairs expansion. I haven't specified what those are going to be yet. Got a few ideas floating around, not going to say what they are as yet, but they are, because of Coradine, the world, all the kind of the evil element of it is underground. It's subterranean. It's kind of like an ancient trope, if you like. So I'm going to be thinking about dens that are underground. So there's going to be 2 more. So there'll be a second volume of Lairs, and a whole bunch of new monsters for the Lairs, and then there'll be a separate cards pack for all the Lairs monsters. So there'll be 4 Lairs in total, including the 2 from the most recent campaign, plus 2d6 Kingdom. So that's the reality. That is coming next. So thanks, Nick, and we're going to need to go beyond level 10. All that be part of Kingdoms. It will. That is a good question, Jeff. I haven't decided yet, to be honest. I wonder whether that might be something that comes next year as a legendary kind of addition, because that is going to involve a lot of thinking, but also it may detract from the theme of the 2d6 kingdom. So we'll see. I haven't completely ruled it out yet, though. It's a good question. I imagine the next levels would have to take a lot of XP to get to. Exactly. It may be that maybe there's 5 more levels, and the problem with that is then you would need the legendary dungeon. I think that is going to be a later edition. It's going to take a lot of polishing, and you can sort of be godly and powerful, and we'll just have to see. But it's a good point that you raised, Jonathan. Complete Lairs 1 to 4 hardcover faux leather book in the future. Probably, yeah, I would imagine with bonus content inside that book as well. So maybe other monster variations, and other treasures and stuff like that. So, but I think 4 Lairs will be enough. I think ultimately we need like there's probably only limit on the sorts of underground chambers you can find, potentially. So, Cody, been lurking, but I was curious, if 2d6 Kingdom is its own game entirely, as it sounds like it could be, or is it an expansion to 2d6 Dungeon? It is an expansion to 2d6 Dungeon, so your character that explores dungeons now sets up his own kingdom. And what it will facilitate is you can still go and explore dungeons. You can bring your treasure out with you and spend it on buying land, recruiting people, bargaining with people, paying people off, buying other sorts of equipment that will facilitate maybe opening a farm or stuff like that. It's going to be quite encompassing. But they work together. So as a dungeoneer or as an adventurer, you now can come back to your castle, if you like, your homestead, because that's what it starts out as, and spend your wealth as an adventurer. That is the goal. So that's where we're heading with it. I'm very excited, and I've been playing around with some ideas. Once I've got a solid generation system, I'm going to be sending it out to you guys. Like, so Nick, I know you wanted to have a good look at it. I will get it out to you to test, but for the moment, I'm kind of holding off too much with that because I do have one other project that needs to be done before we get into that. I mean, basically, I have a couple of revenue streams. As some of you know, I've said this a couple of times, that I write role-playing supplements, and there will be one between a role-playing supplement between 2d6 Dungeon and 2d6 Kingdom, and it kind of supports other things that I do. Build a castle on the swamp. might not be the best location to build a castle, Johnny. You could be a legendary adventurer who trains and starts up new characters and sends them out into the world. There will be that aspect. So it's a great point, Jeff, actually. You will have employees, serfs, people who work for you, but other adventurers can also come and live in your domain, potentially. Is there any way that it could also be played solely as a kingdom builder? Yes, it absolutely can. In case exploring dungeons and building kingdoms is too much to focus on, like a variant. Yeah, absolutely. You could spend your whole time just generating land and dealing with the things on the surface. But you may, when you're dealing with things, you may think to yourself, I could do with some of that really gorgeous treasure deep down in that dungeon, just so I could maybe build some more fort walls, or pay off that farmer, or employ that farmer to reap that land, which gives me that income, and then I can, so there's going to be temptations. Dungeoneer Manager Simulator. there's a lot of potential, and it's exciting. And we're getting to the point where we are going to be finishing this first phase very soon. Everybody's got the stuff. The end of the phase will be when I put the stuff on the website. So I'm not going to sell, because I'm not going to sell anything until everybody's got their products, or everybody within a particular time frame anyway, because we're sending out hundreds and hundreds of books, and some people aren't going to get their book because it's going to get lost. So we'll replace those, but we'll try and get, because it's inevitable. Some get lost in transit, and then we resend those. So we're going to try and get into everybody we can, and then we can kind of step to the next one. Okay, right, enough chat there about that. Let's get this map drawn. How many exits on this one? 1. So that can go up as well. We'll put it here. Yeah, here, like this. So what role do you start with in the kingdom game? I mean, is there an established world you conquer, or to be king, or are you facing a wilderness to conquer? So Coradine is kind of a nice. It's a largely flat kind of world, a bit like England, where you where there are nice rolling hills and stuff like that, and then you have a homestead in this large expanse. It's largely underpopulated, the land that you live in, and you start in the homestead in the middle of the map, and then you generate content outside the map. So it may be a fields, a crags, or it may be a abandoned building, or a dark sunken hole, or something like that, that you have to explore and deal with and encounter. And you generate this out from your base start. Now there is a road that leads back to the town where you've been experiencing, and you go to the pub and you come out where the dungeon is, in a sense, kind of around that area, and it's been threatening the town. But you start off and you generate, and there's no limit to it. You can just keep expanding out. You can do sheet after sheet after sheet if you wanted to, and that's the theory. And you'll encounter things that will have to be dealt with, and the creatures from the dungeon that the dungeon lords send out to the surface to try and cause havoc. You will have to deal with those as well. Lots of possibilities. Could see there also being a risk you lose everything and have to build back up. Absolutely. You may get to the point where you're skint, things aren't working out. You've lost some little skirmishes in the vicinity. It's looking down, and you think, right, I'm going down to that dungeon to get myself some loot and treasure and fame, and then come back out and kind of kickstart this kingdom. As a legend of the people, defeating level 10, I would assume they would gift you your first property. They're definitely, I mean, that's a good point, Nick. The thing is, you will start off with a property even before level 10. So you don't have to reach level 10 to start 2d6 Kingdom. You don't have to do much with 2d6 Kingdom until you become a higher level character if you don't want to. But it's there as an additional thing, but yet you can also play it independently. So, yeah. I mean, it could be viewed as another game, but it will use all the same systems as 2d6. So the same combat systems. There will be additional stuff, maybe some sort of stats that represent how you manage people, or how you barter, or something like that. So there'll be additional stuff like that. I do like the idea. So it may be that when you become a legend, you are awarded some land, maybe, and that gets added to as an incentive to develop your kingdom. You get bequeathed. You get not bequeathed. You get granted a huge swathe of land or something like that. So would we still be a dungeoneer, or are there other career paths available? Johnny, now you... well, you know, it is a good question, and I guess you would gain other skills, and you could call yourself a lord. You know, it wouldn't... That's the thing about this game. I'm not telling you what to call yourself. You create what you are within the restraints of the rules. I didn't want to lay down too many complex rules around it to make people feel like they have to do this or that. Win at arm wrestling, win a kingdom. Well, there may be opportunities to win, to gamble on land. That may be part of it, Brian. I think you joke, but that could be part of it. There could be some sort of gambling system. So there are exciting things ahead. There are, as I say, I've got to try not to let myself become too caught up with that when we're still kind of finalising these. Well, the Lairs is done. I just need to get it printed and sent off ASAP. Right. So what is this room? Oh, and I've ticked the extra. So 5-3. So down here, 5. That's the incident room. I want 5-3. Court body. In the wet weeds in the wall is a caught up body. If you have a short blade, you can cut it down. The body is ancient, but you find a pouch with some herbs. Roll on HST1. Right, I've been really lucky so far. There are monsters in this. Or lumberjack, Johnny. I didn't spot that. Nice one, Johnny. I mean, you will employ lumberjacks potentially, or you will pay to have land cleared for other functions. There will be that sort of aspect to it. Right, so court body. I'm going to write this up here. We've got some kind of weeds and tangled stuff going on here, and I'm gonna put like a body here, called up body, there in the weeds, and we're getting down, and so HSC1 has got a pouch. Let's see what herbs we get. So we can refer to the books here, a codex, and you know, when I got these codex, I was like, wow, they're so crisp. They're so like, oh, the smell washing over me there. It's beautiful. So we are rolling on HST1. In the green section, herb table. Here we go. At the top here. 5, some scarlet orivatus leaves. Let's put that on the sheet there. Times 1. Monsters are a little more spread out for the most part than the dungeons, which is good, though there are times you'll get multiples in a row based on small sample size of testing. Yeah, exactly. Inherit the Land could help explain your weapons training, as they were a prior venture, Nick says. 2. Training you in your youth and may have means on the property an adventurer should have need. Yeah. No, exactly. And that raises a good question about your background and how much is that is the player's prerogative to kind of write their own story. That's an interesting one to think about. I've also got a roll on the, it says here, also roll on SSIT one. So the swamp incident table. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe there'll be a creature there after all. 33. You hear a roaring noise, and a blue aura ahead of you alerts you to the danger as a flash wave barrels towards you over the lip and down into the room. If you're carrying a shield, you are a bigger target and are just knocked into the wall. Lose 2 H points. Otherwise, lose 3 H points per level. So, let me read that again. If you're carrying a shield, you are a bigger target and are just knocked into the wall. Lose 2 health points. Otherwise, lose 3 H points per level. Okay. So, I'm carrying a shield as it happens. I have a banded shield. So, I'm able to sort of hold it up as a barrier to the water, and it knocks me into the wall, but it doesn't completely batter me into the surface. I kind of protect myself. So I'm really lucky, actually. I've got the banded shield there, which in a sense saves me from losing huge amounts of 6 HP. Instead I lose just 2, which takes me down to 18. Frank, we should encounter a character that challenge us to a dice game. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Because I need to be able to work the gambling into it somehow. I will. Okay. So, we've been absolutely really lucky so far as we've explored this. Right, I'm going to go up here. And, in fact, I'm going to go up this tunnel here. Go straight up. 4 by 2. So, I'm going to bring this wall along here, and I'm going to connect it up with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to find out how many exits. 5 exits, which gives me 2, which means that counts as 1. And I'm going to have an exit over this way. So we're going to go, and I'm going to have an exit here. Godzilla42, my pledge included the faux leather book. Would you recommend to also buy the paperback codex? If you buy the paperback, you get both the books. I haven't held the faux leather in my hands yet, so I don't know how flexible it's going to be. But for me, when I have my faux leather, I'm going to keep it on the bookshelf and not use it to play so much. So I find these books are designed to be played with. They're flickable, you see, and I find that much easier. Now with the faux, I'm going to protect it. So it's up to you. Nick suggests that you do. He did. I think a lot of people have. I was thinking that in the end, it would probably be more handy to have a copy of the codex as a paperback copy. It is a really nice, easy... I mean, I would say that, obviously. But I find it a really, really nice... Yeah. You can... Godzilla42, if you want to... There's the late pledge form on the Kickstarter page where you can put the order in, and we can include that, because we haven't sent out your faux leather yet. So, because we haven't got them back yet. But if you wanted the paperback, you can put it on as well. Okay, so we've got this room up here, which is kind of like this interesting shape. It's incorporated. I've added an extra exit on there, and we've got this kind of strange room up here, which is a normal sized room. Okay, Sunken Swamp. That's the incidents room. Here we go. 63. Bladderwort Wall. Okay, here we go. All right, so bladder wart wall. One of the wet walls here is covered in bladderwort plants. It stinks of rotting flesh and sways. So we'll have the kind of little, they're kind of like bladderwort, they're kind of carnivorous, small green carnivorous plants, but they're kind of magnified and grown and become mutants. And suddenly a bladderwort host bursts from the plants. You must fight. If you survive, roll on Cult 1. C-U-L-T 1. Okay, so first fight. Let's have a look at this beastie. Here he is. Right. So, bladderwort host. It's plant corpse type situation going on here. All right. Okie dokie. We have got. I did the same for Radzone. It's a nice book, but the other copies are easier handling for frequent turning. Okay. Right. Round 1. You can see that up there. And I've got a bite on my hand there. You probably spotted that. It's annoying. So, the bladderwort. Many plants have been changed by the presence of the primordial magic in the swamp. Small mutated bladderworts are one such plant that infests long fallen hosts so they may feed again. Okay, let's do it. Root binding, root slash. Round 1. Oh, well, that's not good, is it? Double 1. That is always a miss. Okay, and we have the bladderwort. 4-6 has 1 shift. Needs a 3-1. That is a miss. My go. 4-1. Now, can you see over here? Can't quite see. Yeah, I think we can see that. We have got 3-2. I can go. I can shift that to 3 and that to 2. That is a thrust with my longsword. D6 damage. Let's write this bladderwort on here. Has 13. Yeah, at least with a double 1 you don't hurt yourself. Exactly. Don't throw some about that when I didn't think about that when I made, well, you know. So that was right. D6 damage. That is a 6. Not bad. 7. There we go. Okay. And the bladderwort. A 3-2. Look at that. So, +1 shift. We can turn that to a 1, which is 3-1, which is its root slash. D6 +1 damage. Now, my tunic is I can block on primary 5s and 6s and secondary 5s. I don't do any block to that. The root lashes out and does me 3 points of damage. God damn you, bladderwort host. Right, my go. Number 3. Okay. 1-4. So, nope. I could take that down by 2. No, that's no good. No, I miss. Here we go. That is 2-1. He can go 3-1 and hit me again. Unbelievable, and I can't block it. 6 damage. God damn it. 3. So that takes me down to 7. Oh my lord. Should have been -2 on the thrust damage. Ah! Damn it. Good call. I missed that. Let's take it up to 9. That's all we need. Good call. Well done. I missed that. It's easy to do when you're first getting into the old routine again. Let me just see if that... Take that off there for a second. Is that still... Is that better? Is that better? And you're down to 9. And you are down to 9. 8 minus 3 equals 15, not 13. Oh, blimey. Oh my lord. It is late. I'm usually not bad at simple arithmetic. First attack was 3 for damage, not 5. Ah. Well, that's okay then. I'm at 9. Right, so... It's a good thing you guys are there. 3-1. Okay, thrust. D6 damage. I can turn it to 2. D6 damage. 1. Oh dear. 8. Okay. Right, I have 9. He's rolling. 6-5. He doesn't hit. Okay. So we got up to 4. +1 on the shift adjustment dice. Pressure on because everyone is watching. Yeah, that's true. Robert's all over it tonight. He is. Thank you, Robert. Okay. Here we go. 1-4. I've got shift 3. I can take that to... No, I can't. I need a 4 shift. No, I need a... Yeah, I need a 4 shift to adjust that one. Didn't work. Bladder host with +2. Oh my lord, what has he got? 1, 2. No, we can't quite do it. He can't quite do it. Goes to that one. 3, 4. Right, I can shift it to my heavy slash, which is D6 +2, which is better. So that is 4 damage. Takes him down to 4. I'm on 9 still, and he gets +3 shift. 4 and a 1. Wow, what a roll. He is rolling hard. D6 +1 damage. Oh my god, 7. 7 damage, which takes me down to 2. Primary 6 interrupt. Oh my god, I'm so not on it. Sorry. Right, I will remember that now. Let's bring him back up to 6. Primary 6. Primary 6s. Primary 6s. Remember, he brought primary 3s and 6s, which is both my attacks. Alright. You're right. This is not good. I'm down to 2. Right. I'm going to... I am going to use a potion. I've got a potion of healing, which takes me up to 12 points. And I'll cross that off over there. So that means I miss that round, and he gets to attack again, which is quite a dangerous thing to do, given the situation. But if I take another hit, I'm gone. +3 shift. Yes. Good call. Okay. And his turn to hit. Double 1. Right. The host swings but seems to lose control of its arms. Opening up its side, you strike it for D6 damage. Okay, here we go. 2 points of damage. It's down to 4. This has turned out to be an epic fight. Okay. My go. Those just stay as they are for the moment. It's +3. Right. 4. So we've got 4. So I can shift it to the heavy slash. Now that is a -2 because of the root binding. So it's D6 damage. We get 4 points of damage, which kills the bladderwort dead. But boy, was that a fight. Oh my word. Okay, 55 experience points. And roll on body search table 1 for the epic fight. It was, yay. Alright, body search table. That is in the other codex. We'll just bring that up. Here we are. Oh, the smell of these books. Right, here we go. What have we got? 5. There is a snapped off sword blade in the creature's rib cage. Wow. Okay. Not much use then. Okay. It's a nice little bit of narrative. Some guy, he's maybe been out in a swamp, but he's got into a fight with a mate, stabbed him, and his mate has thrown him into the swamp and left him there. But his blade got broken off inside. I will take this random item, broken sword blade. Oh, that's not that one. That's a different one. Where did I put it? Oh, no, that is it. That is the one. Broken sword blade. Okay. Faced a bladderwort host. They came out of the wall. And I barely survived. A little bit of narrative there. Poor old Vel. He's having a hard time of it. Anyway, we did the search. We got the XP. I think that is everything there. Few indeed. Luck in Dungeons are turned to unlock in combat. Exactly, it did, Nick. Is root binding a movement-based interrupt? No, it's not. I don't think it would be, no. Just some tangled roots curling up along the ground, perhaps. It's like a binding around the body which protects, like armour. I would have played that on the bladderwort host having 2 HP remaining 4 HP. I thought it would be movement like the roots moving to block or grab limbs. Now, to be honest, guys, you can interpret it any way you like. Okay, so if you want to do that, that's fine. It's your game when you're playing it like that, and I don't have a problem with people interpreting things in particular ways. It's absolutely fine. For me, it's to do with it's like a hard root binding across the body, where the bladderworts are sort of like attached to almost, along with the flesh of the corpse. So and where the roots are grown around it, and when it's animated, it's kind of ripped free almost. Don't know. Took binding to be like an action it makes. No. It's kind of like if you are binding around something. So there you go. Well, it doesn't matter. Honestly, that's fine. You can use it that way if you want. Okay, so we just about survived that first combat. Now, poor old Vel has 12 health and some Malaco leaves. I'm going to chew the Malaco leaves to bring us up to 13 health, which is better than nothing, and leave those like that. So we've got 13 health. I've crossed that off. Got a little bit of energy. We've got some gold, not a lot of treasure. John Ross, don't forget about the cold from the water in the waterfall room. The cold. Was there the cold? Oh, hang on, we've got an extra soaked here. Now we're getting soaked, which is a problem because I've lost quite a lot of health, and we've got to get these corner cases clear in our head for 2D6 Dungeon World Championship. But yeah, that's right, John. Soaked status continues. It does. Yes, you're right. So as I was saying, we've got 4 ticks now, and we're going to be going to another one, so we'll be getting another tick, which is annoying. Well, but we need an adjudicator. I mean, that's an interesting concept, actually. Competitive 2D6 dungeon. I wonder whether you could play 2 players on a map and you both enter in from different sides and then navigate the dungeon. No, I don't know. I haven't really... That would be something to think about. Okay, so we have got this room over here. We're going to go out this top room. Now we've got an exit here as well. If I can connect these 2 rooms up, I will. Right, so we're going into here. Right, that is 1 by 4. So it's a vertical space. I'm going to connect them up this corridor. I'm going to have them go like this, and I'm going to add an extra one on there, just to sort of make this like a corridor space, which I think works nicely. And then we've got how many exits? Right, look, we've got 3 exits. So we've got 1 down the bottom, 1 at the top, and then 1 in the middle, which I need to draw in here. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so like capture the flag, Robert. You're a genius. And the 2 adventurers have to fight each other in the middle. How would we do? I mean, I haven't thought about adventurers fighting each other. This is like a whole new... This is blowing my mind. Rush for the treasure room. Could also be co-op. Trial of the Champions. Blimey, that's a fighting fantasy book. That is fantastic. Game modes. We're going to have a look at this, how this works. But this little discussion has definitely got something going in my brain. Wow. Okay. Let's see where this room's leading. We're going to go this way. 1 by 4. Okay. Going to see how many exits that's got. That has got 2 exits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a... It's like a secondary corridor here. And this is becoming a little bit... I'm going to bring that down. It's become a little bit like a labyrinth. I'm going to go down here and see what this room here is. Too much to think about. Going to see what this room is here. Alright, this room down here. 5 by 1. Okay, so it's a corridor. We're going to link this up here. This corridor goes along 5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many exits does it have, though? Let's have a look. It may not have any exits. It has no exits. How about that, eh? So that's a dead end. Wow, look at that. We're not getting any more soaked status during the corridor exploration like this. This is the corridor exploration at the moment. Okay, fascinating. All right. It's fun to get multiple corridors in a row like that because it makes you for a very interesting layout. Exactly. Look at this sequence here. Because this is just a sunken swamp. There's no order to it necessarily. All right, we are going into this space here, which is a 4 corridor with how many exits? 3. So 1 exit at the end. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have an exit at the end here. And we'll see what we've got. We'll go this way. 2, 1. So that's 2 more on it. And how many exits does this one have? 3 exits. It's like a T junction. So we've got. I'm going to put those exits here. I'm going to put 1 here. Wow. It's funny how these things work out. It's like a crossroads, not a T-junction, I should say. A crossroads. Water carves out channels in caverns. Exactly. Exactly, it does. Right, so we've got 3 exits here in this space. Let's have a look. We're gonna go down because we still haven't done this side here from the main entrance. We've gone up through this water-based adventure. It's worked out really nicely. And then we have got this space here. Let's have a look. 3 by 3. Okay. So what I'm going to do is slot it in here. So we've got like a 1, 2, 3. How many exits? 1 exit, which is fine. Going to put the exit here next to this room. We'll extend that slightly so these two can match up. 3. Like so, and then we've got this kind of this space in the middle here. Yeah. Right. So one more room, one more soaked status. Oh, was it? Oh my God! You're right. Doubles. Thank you. Doubles. So it's 3 by 3. So it's 5 by 8. 5 by 8. Oh, it's a large room. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I got carried away. 5 by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. There we go. James, good to see you. Getting here kind of late, but at least it's not over. I'll have to watch the earlier parts afterwards on the recording. Good to see you, James. Hope you're well. Right, so how many exits? 3 exits. Okay, so That's interesting. So we've got, I'm going to try and bring this together a little bit down here. I'm going to bring this exit here. So maybe it's going to connect up to this room down here. And then we're going to have that exit, as I was saying before, up this way. It's a bit of a push to extend that across. I won't do that now. And then we're going to have an exit into this space here, into this area. Here we are. Okay. And this large room, let's have a look. Oh, I did 6. Getting here, I did 6, Jeff, didn't I? I rolled a 6. Didn't I? I sort of sworn I rolled a 6. Okay. Sunken Swamp, small room, sunken swamp, large rooms. So, what is this space? 4. Tall plants. Tall plants cast shadows here, and from the darkness appears a talus lotus. Before you realise it was doubles, you had rolled 1. No big deal. 3 exits are better, exactly. Talus lotus, brushing past hanging vines, it slides towards you. You must fight. Tall plants. Let's write that in. This could be the end of me. All right, this is tough. This is tough. Talus lotus is like the hardest one to fight. All right. Okay. Let's find him. Okay. So the Talus lotus. Mental whip. Damn right. Damn right. Use the scroll. I'm going to. So, Talus lotus. Vine sides. Can you see it kind of swirling there? Primordial magic surges through these lumbering giants. They form on the plant-infested walls of the sunken swamp, detaching when lotus plants weave into their bodies as if giving them life. There we go. All right. So, as has already been suggested, we best scroll ever, and the magic scroll of winning. Yeah, absolutely. Mental whip does 10 damage. So, as I'm watching this tall creature like a Triffid is ripping from the wall, but I get a moment before the combat. I pull out my scroll and cast Mental Whip on this creature, and its small little mind reflexes in pain. Awesome. Dead. 10 points of damage. So 16 goes down to 6. I'll rub that scroll off there. I seriously could do with some more treasure, though. What is going on here? This is a point, isn't it, Jeff? We were discussing. Is there enough treasure in this dungeon? Got to roll to see if it was. Oh shoot! Yeah. I'm just getting ahead of myself here. Yes, I do. You do. Sorry, guys. Right, so let's just roll for the doubles. So, got to roll a double, and I use my discipline. I think it's my discipline to adjust, because it's so going to be typical now that I've just jumped the gun. This is what I do sometimes. It's not just in games, but in life. Let's put it 16. Let's put it 16 again. And we'll do this correctly. Breathe, Toby, breathe. And I will... Let's try and cast this scroll. Okay? You're right. I do need to So, using magic scroll, you roll a double 6. The spell does damage, double the damage. Let's not forget that. That's just checking that. Easy to remember when you're watching someone else. Thank you, Jeff. That's very kind of you. All right, so what we need to do is roll a 66. If you roll a double, you have locked in the power and carry out the scroll's effect successfully. Right, doubles. Oh no. Oh no, this is doomed. I'm doomed. This character, he's a Vel. Vel is in trouble. Now, you can use your discipline modifier, which is 1, to shift it. But I can't shift it to the double. You can use your discipline modifier. Some complex scrolls have 1 or dispel doubles. Some scrolls have a fail modifier which is deducted or added to the fail to cast correctly. So we've got to roll on the fail to cast correctly. Alright, now that could have other connotations. So the magic, the creature is emerging. I've got the scroll and I'm casting it. Something's going seriously wrong here as I speak the magic words. What's going to happen? Out of luck. This is where I would have cheated in the Fighting Fantasy books. I can't cheat. It's not in me. And anyway, everybody's watching, so. Failed to cast correctly. Here we go. All scrolls are destroyed due to the attempt at casting. Apart from rolling 12, the original scroll spells are not cast, and only the effects as described happen. Okay, here we go. This is it. You ready? 6. The scroll crumbles to ash, producing a cloud of smoke, making you choke, alerting the enemy of the presence. The enemy attacks first. Whew. Right, I think I still get some experience points, even though I failed to cast the spell. Yes, exactly. How many experience points was it again? 5, so I get 10 experience points. We'll add that on. It crumbles to my hand. I crumble, I look up, and the beast is already over me, and he's going to swipe on my own. On your own, you can, just not in front of us, since you want us to all know the right way to play. Yeah, I try and remember the right way to play. I did write these things. But, you know, you get a bit carried away sometimes with the adventure. Right, so it's still 16. We're in a pile of poop. We are in serious trouble here. I have got... Let's see how the fight plays out. Talus Lotus at 16. I have got 13. Okay. Now, he blocks primary 2s and 5s. Which is neither of my attacks. So that's in my favour. His Vine Whip and his Spore Cloud are 2-2, which I can't block. And his Spore Cloud is 4-5. Now I can block secondary 5s, -2 damage. So we've got to remember that. This is what I forgot to do last time. Have a summary of what the situation is. Alright. Okay. Right, we can do this. Now I do have a potion of strength, which I may take on the first round. It depends what the situation is. So I've got that to drink. He's attacking first. You can do it. Okay, round 1. The Talus Lotus goes first, which changed the pattern. So we've got 5-3. It cannot hit me. Right. So in this moment, I'm going to drink the potion of strength, which gives me +1 to damage. Okay, so that means I missed another turn. I always find taking the potions early on is better. So I got +1 damage. It's turn 2. Talus Lotus is going first because that's the order. 2-1. Vine Whip. Ooh. Okay. So the Vine Whip is D6 +1. Come on, dice, be kind. 1, 2 damage. Down to 11. Right, round 3. My turn. No, so that was the... So first round, he attacked, I took a potion. Then he attacked, damaged me, and now I'm attacking, and it's round 2 still. There we go. Okay, here we go. 2, 2, 5. Nope, I can't shift it with my +2 to any of my attacks. Damn. Oh, did I? I don't block on the Vine Whip, no. Yeah, and going to round 3 now. He attacks first. 5, 2. 5, 2. Cannot shift to either of those. Excellent. Okay. My turn. 3, 5. 3, 5. +2. Oh, I'm 1 off. 1 off. So I needed a... I can shift that down to 3, but I'm a 3, 2. So close. And the Talus... and now that goes to round 4. With 1 plus on the fatigue. So that is 4, 4. Okay. 4, 4. He can shift to Spore Cloud. Can't shift to Vine Whip. Spore Cloud, I -2 damage on that one. So it's D6 -2. Let's have a look. 2 points of damage takes me down to 9. Heavy Slash. And then, yeah, I did. Did I do this Heavy Slash? Did I miss? Did I miss something? Oh God. Okay, here we go. Talus. Hang on, I'm completely thrown myself here. Did I? You had 5, 3. Heavy Slash. Did I roll for damage? Just lost myself then. Easy to do. I kind of get distracted. I distract myself. So, the Talus Lotus. Did you see what happened, Johnny? So I did a 5, 3, and then I do the damage. Is that right? I need to be able to play back. You said you could not shift it for 5, 3. Ah, okay. Thanks. Right. Well, then it is a damage. D6 +2. Can he block? No, can't block. Here we go. 4 damage. Nice. Right, we've started to make inroads. Right, there you go. Cool. And now round 5 +2. Here we go for the Talus Lotus. 6, 2. +2, +3. Cannot shift. 6. Nope, cannot shift. My go. 6, 3. I can shift it to the Heavy Slash. It cannot block the Heavy Slash. That's D6 +2 +1. I've got +1 damage, haven't I? Because of my strength, potion of strength. I'll take an extra point off that. Mustn't forget about that. So it's d6 plus 3. That is d6 plus 3 is 9. Takes him down to 2. 9 points of damage. In my favour at last. And next round, Talus Lotus. It's plus 3, so it's plus 4 shift. 3, 4. I can shift it to the... yeah, I can shift it to Vine Whip. Now, I can block the other one. Vine Whip is d6 plus 1, which I cannot do much about. Oh my god. Down to 2. Down to 2. Okay. So, here we are. He's got 2. I've got 2. 6-4. Exact strike. Which gives me d6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3, 5 plus 5. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8. d6 plus 8. 6, 14. I swing my broadsword, and it's in 2. Its body just kind of spins into 2 pieces. That is a lot of damage at the end there. Wow. Wow. Jesus. Whew. That's going to leave a mark. Wade, good to see you. Rocky Balboa for the win. Wow. Okay. So, let's shift that across here. The Talasaurus is 95. So, that is 260. A lotus flower, which really doesn't fill me with great reward, and a thick long vine, which I cut from the body. I think this could be useful. This could be useful. Right. So let's look back at this room just to double check there's nothing else in there. That is so mean. Okay. Brushing past hanging vines. There's nothing else in there. No more treasure. I need to put some treasure into here. I think I'm going to... See, there are a couple of little things that I'm going to... add tomorrow before I send it off. Okay. It has been... The Lotus Flower is just a souvenir. Eric, you made the finishing move of Rob Roy. You're not wrong. Sliced in 2. Okay. Fantastic. What a dramatic way to end that fight. Now, okay, guys, look. We have a character here who has... He has taken a battering. In 2 to 6 kingdoms, you could use the lotus flower to woo others. Yeah, you could. Yeah. That's actually true. I mean, I've got to think about that side of things as well. You know, get married, have a family, maybe, potentially. Things to think about. There's lots of things to think about. Okay. Right, so it's been the treasure has been low. The treasure has been low. I cannot continue with 2 health points, with no potions. Used up everything to get to this point. 2 epic fights. the Bladderwort Host and the Talus Lotus both completely wiped me out. Now, as well as I've got one more room there. Okay. Oh my word. Oh my word. Look at this. Off subject, but I was curious if you ever thought about writing a book or novel set in the world of T6 or Radzone, like the collection of short stories set in Radzone, letter-sized books. I have thought about it, and I have written some fiction for those, for Radzone, because I'm on the side. One of the future projects is Radzone RPG, which needs more time. I think they would be fantastic. Thank you, Cody. Excellent. Take my money, Robert. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to write some fiction for Corradine and this world. That's going to be that's naturally going to follow. So yeah, that'll be cool. Wade said yes. Appeal to the gods for full health. The problem is, it's the only one I could appeal to is Moldova, and I've only got 2, so that would be very tricky to do. Is the expectation lower treasure amounts from Lairs just because of the setting environment, or are you thinking about adjusting treasure amount? I'm thinking about adjusting up a little bit. I've been a bit unlucky with this. There are different types of treasure in this dungeon, including 2 special runes. So that may be something that I was hoping to find, but I didn't. Should be bodies of other adventures with loot. Yeah. I mean, there is loot. It's just, I think I've just been a bit unlucky, to be honest. With some of these rooms, there are lots of references to. It is just a question of luck sometimes, isn't it? What you find. Okay, so I can try and call for the power of the gods, but. Shall we have a look at this? Let's have a look at that and see what the chances are. I think you've got to roll under, so I'd have to roll a 1 or d6, which would be pretty difficult. And with the way things have been going, I don't think we're going to have any luck. I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave it there. This Vel does live to see another day. He escapes with 30 gold coins. Roll 2 or under. I could appeal to Nevazeta and roll 1. Yeah, no, you're right. I could, but I think we're going to leave it there. It's been a really good session. We've been going for over 2 hours, so that's cool. So I think we will leave it there, guys. Been fun. Really enjoyed those combats. Wow, they're kind of epic, aren't they? The way they work. I'm so pleased with how that's played out. And this is what we've explored. I will do a little. I'll do a little write up with this, and we'll put it on the Facebook group. If you're not part of the Facebook group, I'd suggest you go and have a look at it and see what you think. Some people don't do Facebook. I understand that completely. There's also Board Game Geek, where you can find out some other stuff, and people do share things on there. I must put some more maps on the Board Game Geek as well. If you're fresh to this game and you've never seen it before and you're watching the vlog, you can always check out the demo. It's on itch.io, or it's on Board Game Geek, or on the Facebook page as well. Blaine, thank you very much. Yeah, And then if you want to buy it, if you haven't bought it already or upgrade, there's the late pledge button on the Kickstarter page. It's blue, it's at the top, and you just click it and fill out the form. Once all these books are out to the backers, the products will be sold on our website, drgames.co.uk. If you want to email me, then you can. It's toby@drgames.co.uk, and I can answer your questions. Guys, thank you for this evening. It's been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the Lairs. This is going to be out tomorrow. For those backers who backed it, the digital version will be available, and then there will be a period of time where we get it printed, and then we will send it out. And as soon as you entered the big room, it was the epic finale of the episode. Lol. Thanks for sharing, and have a good day. Thank you, Cody. You're awesome, my friend. I will see everybody. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, all the team. Some of you guys were really on it tonight as well, which is nice to see. And there will be more. I will be streaming next week, and I will be keeping you up to date with how things are going through all the usual channels, Kickstarter and Facebook and stuff like that. Guys, thanks for watching. That was epic. You can see, thanks Nick, that exploring a lair doesn't mean you explore the whole level. You can come out. He's got 30 gold coins from that adventure. He's probably going to buy something. Maybe we'll use Vel Cotes to explore the infernal caves next time. Okay, guys, take care. I will catch up with you very soon. Once again, my thanks goes out to Jeff. Thank you for testing these Lairs as thoroughly as you did. Much appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks again. Bye.